Wake up, everybody.
Welcome to Breakfast with Friends.
And it's time for us to say a very good morning to Michael Swain. He is the Executive Director for Freedom of Religion South Africa. And it's a very important conversation that we are having. It's the ECE Toolkit is what we're going to be focusing on. So don't worry if you're like me saying, what is this? It's all about the Department of Basic Education, or DBE, has recently come under scrutiny for its implementation of the Gender-Responsive Pedagogy for early childhood education, also known as the ECE Toolkit, developed in collaboration with the University of Stellenbosch and funded by a 40 million rand grant from the VVOB, a Belgian-based organization. The ECE Toolkit aims to train pre-primary and primary educators to promote transgender ideology and gender diversity among children aged 0 to 9 years of age. Because of this, we're chatting to Michael Swain. Michael, where does this ECE Toolkit find us, and how does it all work?
Well, the ECE Toolkit is a teacher training program which has been rolled out, we know, in at least 5 provinces. So this is actually happening right now in pre-primary and primary schools. It isn't just teaching teachers. The question is, what are the teachers going to teach the children? Because if you teach little children things that their parents may fundamentally disagree with and are probably telling them the exact opposite, you're sowing seeds of deep confusion into children. And that is not the place of education, and certainly not at that level. I mean, education is not indoctrination. You do not teach a transgender ideology to little children who have absolutely no way of processing it. I think, Jonathan, if you'd like, let me give you a couple of examples, because I think people need to actually know what is being taught so that they can get a sense of the picture. So I'm going to give you some quotes now from this toolkit of what they say children must be taught. It says the goal of this training is to teach children, little children that is, to break free from harmful gender stereotypes that hold them back in life. In other words, what they're saying is that your mom and dad may have said to you, there are only men and there are only women, God made them male and female, but that's actually harming you. That's holding you back in life. They're being told, the teachers, to say to the little children when they're in their classes, now, what would you like us to call you? Would you like us to call you by the name your mummy and daddy called you, or do you have a preferred name? Do you have a preferred pronoun that you'd like us to refer to you with? The teachers are actually taught to use they and them. They're saying they're not going to use he and she anymore. They're going to use they and them pronouns, because that lets these little children know that we cannot assume somebody's gender identity just by looking at them. Now, I mean, I could go on, but this is something which I think many parents would be really unhappy to hear about, because that is not typically what you're going to be teaching your children at home. So yes, if you want to live that lifestyle and lead that lifestyle as an adult and make your choices, well, you can do that. There's no problem. But don't teach this to little children, certainly not without their parents' permission and express consent.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Well, that's crazy.
Mr. Michael, well, talking about parents, what legal positions do parents have? What are their rights when it comes to this?
Well, the law is fully on the right side of parents. Parents, and this is not only South African law, but also international law and treaties that are binding on South Africa. And even, by the way, recognized in the Department of Basic Education's own policy paper, White Paper 1, which is supposed to guide them in everything that they do. And it says very clearly that parents have the inalienable right. And the word inalienable is a very important one, because it means that it's not something that you're granted. It's something that it is recognized that you have simply because you're a parent. So parents have this inalienable right that nobody can take away from them to raise their children and educate their children according to their own values and faith, especially, it says, in the early stages of childhood. In other words, when your children are little, when they just simply can't know better, when they don't have the capacity to process things like faith and belief. That's why it's so important that this right exists. And also that the state must consult parents on what's being taught in schools. Now, neither of those two things have happened, of course, in this instance. I think most parents who are listening today will be probably astonished that their little children are being taught or going to be taught this type of thing. So that is why it is so important that we stand up for our rights, because if you don't stand up for your rights, and by the way, you can stand up for your rights anytime. You may never have stood up for this right before, but that doesn't mean to say you've lost it. But you must stand up for it while you can and when you need to. And I believe that there is no better time for parents to stand up and let the basic education department know what they think of this training and what is going to be taught to their children, if they're concerned enough to do so.
It's on point there. Yeah. If you've just joined the conversation, we're chatting to Michael Swain. He's the Executive Director for Freedom of Religion South Africa. Michael, we don't have a lot of time this morning, but we're definitely going to have to visit this topic again. Just on what you were saying there, we have the right as parents, we have the right as citizens of this beautiful country to stand up and to make our voices heard. What are the best ways that people, members of the public and parents can do that?
Well, I think if people want to get more information, which I think we need to, we've got to be awake in this hour, then go to the forsa.org.za website. That's our Freedom of Religion 4SA website, forsa.org.za. On the homepage, there's an image. You can click for more information. If you want to know more, there's a lot more. But if you want to know more, there's a short video you can watch too. And then you can also have your say. You can click straight through. There's an email address that takes you straight to the Department of Basic Education. You just simply complete a short questionnaire, make your comment, hit send, 2 minutes, and have your voice heard by the Department of Basic Education, because they need to know whether or not parents are supportive of this. And frankly, I think many parents will not be supportive, but that's why it's so important that you speak up.
Exactly. It is so important. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've captured this particular interview on our Facebook, on our YouTube, so you can go listen to it again. You can go find it and you can share it with friends and family. But as Michael said, we really want to encourage you to go to the 4sa.org.za, Freedom of Religion South Africa website, and find the information there. And please, let's get this out and let's be educated and let's stand up for what is our rights as parents, as citizens of this beautiful country. It's not just about us, it's for future generations as well. Michael Swain, always great to chat to you. Thank you so much for chatting to us, and thank you for the amazing work that you and the 4SA team do. God bless you and give you wisdom and strength.
Thank you, Jonathan. Always great to be on the show.
Thank you.